Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 153 of Cocktails in the War Room. I am your host, Mistress Carrie, 10 minutes late. Sorry, it's been a day. How are you? First things first, cheers, because I need this a lot. That's why I'm going full Fernandez tonight in the skull mug. Yeah. What's up, Rihanna? Hello, Elsa, Carol, Jason. What's up, Jared? Hey, Ben. About damn time, he says. I'm having a day. Wednesday, you have to come over here. If you want me to turn your camera on, come over here. Say hi. First things first, we got to put the pug cam on so that Wednesday can say hi to every. Do you want to say hi? No, you got to back up so everybody can see your beautiful face. Sit nicely. Nobody wants to see your pug hole. Zero, do you want to come up and say hi to everyone? Do you want to come up too? Come on. Zero, come up here. Zero, come on. We're having a pug party. Okay, so for anybody that's new to Cocktails in the War Room, I want to welcome you, first of all. This is the 153rd episode of Cocktails in the War Room, and this is my trusty sidekick. The dog that has been helping me through the pandemic, the Ed McMahon to my Johnny Carson, the Wayne to my Garth, and all of that. Yeah, this is Wednesday, who likes cookies. And her best friend Zero is here, off camera. Here, Zero. Good girl. Wednesday, do you want to show? Sit. High five. No, not with your face. There you go. All right, that's it. That's all the cookies I have. That's it. I turned the pug cam on for you, so say hi to everyone up here. Say hi. Say hi, everyone. She hit her spot tonight. Welcome to episode 153. If you're new to Cocktails in the War Room, please let us know in the comments. Let us know where you're watching from. Let us know that it's your first time so that the War Room family, as they have named themselves, can welcome you properly to the War Room. We do this every Tuesday night at 8:30. This is how we've been riding out the pandemic. We started it back on March 14th of 2020. We met 80 nights in a row here in the War Room. Then we launched the Mistress Carrie podcast. And then we turned Cocktails in the War Room into a weekly show. And here we are, 153 episodes and 10 minutes later. Blueberry Cobbler says, Elsa. Trina says, the pug hole. It's been a day for us too. What's up, Thomas? Let me know what's going on. It's been a crazy day, and it's been kind of a crazy week, so I want to fill you guys in a little bit on what's been going on. I actually have a new addition to the War Room that I wanted to show you guys, and Wednesday, are you not going to... Hold on, I have to turn the camera on for you guys so you can see what the hell she's doing. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? What do you have going on right now? What are you looking at me like I owe you money for? What? I'm trying to do the show. Everybody else has got stuff going on. Do you have something to say? Do I owe you money? There's stuff for you in the mail call tonight, so you should probably stick around. Wednesday. Do you see this? Do you guys see this right now? Seriously, this is what's going on. What's going on, Michelle? Let's see. Jeff is here. Jen is here. What's going on, Penny? Daniel, Rob. First time here, Rob says. All right, so welcome to Cocktails in the War Room. Usually it's a little more professional than this, but it's been a day. So grab yourself a cocktail, Rob. I don't know what you're drinking, but here in the War Room, you can always tell what I'm drinking based on the glass. The skull mug means I'm drinking Fernandez's special blend of sangria, which is absolutely delicious. Yeah, Trina, she's judging me over here. I don't know what's going on. Who's running the show? Brandon, do you really need to ask that question? You know who's running the show. The midget dog over here, right? There's no more cookies. I don't have any more. They're gone. You ate them all. They're gone. I don't have any more. But there's something for you later if you can wait. Can you wait? Do you mind waiting? Yeah. Welcome to my life. It's been like this all day. So the first thing I want to do is I got to tell. Guys, seriously? Do you guys see this? Hold on. We're never going to get anywhere today. Nothing good is coming from this show. I should restart the show right now. The epic stare down, says Mark. Trisha says you're adorable Wednesday. She's encouraging your behavior. Stop knocking the pillows off the couch. Hey, don't eat my pillows. That's what your toys are for. Can you just, here, take your dragon. Oh my God. Can somebody do some shots for me right now? Because I don't have any shots at arm's reach and I need a shot right now. Can someone please do shots by proxy for me? Because thanks to all. Oh, you're welcome, Rob. This is how we are. This is how we blow off steam. Hold on. Hold on. I forgot that I wanted to show you guys something from the war room. I'm going to let you hang out with Wednesday for a second. Just watch Wednesday. I'll be right back. Hold on. I'll be right back. Wednesday, they're trying to watch you. And you got up because you're leaving me hanging. No, what are you going that way for? You're not supposed to go that way. Hold on. Oh, Jesus Christ. This is the show we're having today, guys. Welcome to the show that we're having. Wednesday, are you going to come back, please? Thank you for coming back now that I'm back. That didn't do me any good. Elsa, Donna, I'm glad you guys are laughing about all of this. Okay, so let's get down to business, please. I need to start the show. Wednesday, you're killing me. So I wanted to tell you guys kind of why things have been crazy. So obviously you guys know, or maybe you don't, depending on where you're joining us from, the Boston Marathon has been delayed for the last year and a half. Now, the last running... what are you doing? Get down. The last running of the Boston Marathon on Marathon Monday was back in 2019, which is when you guys need to see this. She's nudging me. What? I don't have anything for you. This is not for you. This is what I wanted to show them. Can I restart the show, guys? Is this her version of the Zoomies, Annette? I don't know. We need a reboot. Seriously, can I reboot the show? This is fucked. I don't know what's going on. Welcome to the first show. Welcome to the show that never ends. Yeah, exactly, David. Okay. So the last time we ran the marathon normally was back in 2019, and I ran the marathon, which is why, all right, Wednesday just left. Maybe I can actually do the show now. Which is why I wore my sweatshirt tonight, because I wanted to show solidarity with all of the runners yesterday. So usually on a normal year when the Boston Marathon gets run, I have a house full of friends that come from out of state to run the marathon, which has been the case this weekend. So obviously last year there was no marathon. Sorry, my hair is being all weird. So last year there was no marathon. So this year I had some friends come in from out of town. And so I've had a house full of people, and it's been crazy. And obviously with the marathon and everything else that's been going on, it's been nuts. So I got an addition to the war room that I wanted to show you guys first of all. So let's see. So I wanted to show this to you first of all. This is from Major General Buzza, a new addition to my challenge coin collection here in the war room. He is a major general in the Army. And he ran the marathon yesterday. And flew from very far away to be able to run the marathon yesterday. And yesterday qualified for 2022. That's how fast he ran, which is unbelievable. So I wanted to congratulate my friend, Major General Buzza, for qualifying for next year's marathon. I wanted to congratulate my friend Rob, who I met in Afghanistan 10 years ago, because he ran the marathon yesterday. And I also wanted to congratulate my friend Matt, who not only ran the marathon yesterday for the 5th time, but a week ago did the Tough Ruck as well. And let's just say Matt's having Advil today because he's a little sore, as he should be. So I had 3 friends run the marathon yesterday, and I was pretty excited that I got an addition to my Major General Buzzer just got promoted. So we got some fancy schmancy 2-star general coins, and he hooked me up with one, which is pretty badass. So I wanted to show you guys. Let's see. So that's been part of the craziness because there was a 4:45 alarm clock this morning to have me be airport transport for the general to get him to Logan this morning. And so it's been a day because I've been up since 4:30 this morning, or 4:45 this morning. Jen says, that's neat. Congratulations. He's a major general, Heather. That means 2 stars. Not a major general. Let's see. That's freaking cool. Yeah, so part of the reason why I'm such a GD mess right now is because I've been up since like 4:30 this morning. Second of all, when we talk about the podcast, I'll fill you guys in. I have been doing brain surgery on this week's podcast episode. My dream was to run it, got injured in 2019. You know what? I told you guys before, if it's your dream, if it's your bucket list thing, as it was for me, find a way to run it. Just commit to yourself and just say, okay, I'm going to do it. There's never going to be a good time. Every year you get older, it's only going to get harder. It's totally possible if you're willing to commit to doing it. You can do it. If I can finish, you guys can do it. And if you want to run the marathon, run the fucking marathon and just commit to doing it. If you're a novice runner like I am, that means the only way for you to get a number, which you can't bandit run. So you're going to need a number, and the only way to get them is to run for a charity if you don't qualify. And Annette, Matt is the man. He's the hurting man today, but he is the man because he did the Tough Ruck last week and the marathon this week, which is totally badass. You need more coffee. Tracy, you have no freaking idea. I need all the coffee. Like, I will literally want to just put coffee grounds in my cheek and just suck on them for a while because I'm having a day. So if you want to do the marathon, do the marathon. Seriously. I am all about, especially after everything that we've all been through here in the War Room together over like the last 19 months. I'm all about trying to figure out what it is in my life that I want to do and finding a way to do it. And if you got to put the work in, then you got to put the work in. Sorry, my microphone's all jacked up. So figure out what it is that you want to do and then set a plan for yourself. But I will tell you, having grown up and going to the marathon to cheer on the runners year after year, broadcasting live from the finish line all those years, I've talked to you guys about finishing before. It's one of the hardest things I've ever had to do in my life. Mentally so challenging, and there's no feeling like crossing the finish line. They are going to run the marathon again in April, so we're going to get another marathon 6 months from now. And then we go back on schedule, I believe, provided that we figure out what's going on with COVID. But you got to do it. Just do it. We'll find a way. If somebody here in the War Room ends up running the marathon and you do it for a charity, you know that we're all going to support you. We'll do everything that we can to help you raise the money. It's not easy. It's usually a lot of money. The minimum that the BAA sets for fundraising for any charity is $6,500. Charities can go above that, but they can't raise below that because these numbers are so valuable that the BAA wants people that are legitimately committed to raise the money. And so you have to get creative with the fundraising and you have to really work at it. And but you won't regret it. It's amazing. So I want to, first of all, I want to toast not only all of the runners, but to my friends, Rob, Matt, and Shane, who all ran the marathon yesterday and were total warriors and badasses. So if we could give them a cheers here in the war room, that would be fantastic. Diva says, my bucket list to watch all of you run. Okay. The next thing I wanted to tell you is that because I had friends in from out of town, I took the general to Salem over the weekend to show him a little Halloween-y action. And Salem, you did not disappoint. Normally, obviously, the marathon is in April. So my friends that come in from out of town every year are in Massachusetts in April, and they never get to see Salem around Halloween because that's not when they're in town. And they enjoyed it and probably freaked them out a little bit. But Salem in October, especially with the way the weather has been, it was absolutely awesome. You guys know how much I love Halloween. It's been amazing. One of the things I did over the weekend, and I haven't finished it, so please don't give me any spoilers in the comments, but I started watching the Squid Game on Netflix, which, by the way, is like some amazing inspiration for Halloween costumes. But it's the most watched show in Netflix history. And if you haven't seen it yet, it's pretty dark and twisted. I only watched the first episode, but I'm hooked on it and I need to finish watching it because it's twisted and everything that I've read is like, oh my God, what are you doing? I did put some pictures up on Facebook and on Instagram in Salem. It was just an absolute blast. I had so much fun. So if you guys haven't watched it, if you've watched all of the Squid Game on Netflix, let me know what you thought of it, but don't give me any spoilers in the comments. And if you haven't watched it yet, it's definitely interesting, but it's a little bit twisty. It's basically about, David said Squid Game is awesome, but Alice in Borderland is even better. Okay, I haven't watched that yet, but I will check that out. Watch Midnight Mass on Netflix, says Heather. I moved back to Salem from OOB on Sunday and haven't ventured out yet, though. I mean, obviously, you know, with COVID, there's restrictions on how many people can go into the stores. So there's lines to get into a lot of the stores. But the weather has been so nice that Salem was great. Christina says I'm on episode 2. Okay. Let's see. I'm moving back to Salem, Mass. So excited, says Trina. I keep hearing about it and have no idea what it is. Is it more suspense and thriller or straight horror? Okay, so let me give you the premise of it. And like I said, I've only seen the first episode. But basically, it is a bunch of people that are in financial dire straits. And they are propositioned to take part in a series of rudimentary games like red light, green light, and to compete against each other for a serious cash prize. That is kind of how it gets pitched. The people running the game, I because I've read about it, I kind of know, but watching what I've watched so far, I shouldn't know as much as I know. The people running the game are all wearing masks. And so at the beginning, the first episode, you don't find out who they are, the people that are actually running the game. But there are hundreds of people that end up partaking in the Squid Game. And they wear these track suits. They're all numbered and they wear track suits. So if you go to Halloween parties this year, you're going to see people in numbered track suits. And it's because they're wearing Squid Game costumes for Halloween, because it's visually, this show is kind of crazy. I don't want to give too much away because I want you to watch it and to have all the same surprises. But the people that take part in the Squid Game are all in some pretty, sorry, I'm texting Mike Shue. They're all in some pretty dire circumstances, and they're desperate. And so the people that volunteer to take part in the Squid Game volunteer. And it goes left fast. It's kind of crazy. It could be too much like real life. Betty, I'm telling you, it's, I finished the series. It's great. Huge twist. Really? Okay, Rob, thanks for that. I just got on. What are we talking about? Rachel, we're talking about the Squid Game on Netflix, which is the most watched show in Netflix history. It's also Korean, and it's overdubbed in English. And I know that Americans have a hard time with subtitles and overdubbing. I can tell you they did a really good job with it. And about 5 minutes in, you don't even notice that it's overdubbed in English anymore. Obviously, based on its popularity on Netflix, there's a lot of people watching it, and the overdubbing isn't even that big of a deal. Hey, Jamie, thanks for joining us. Sounds like The Condemned meets The Hunger Games kind of purge. Yeah, Brianna, it gets dark and twisty for sure. Hold on. I will text, I'll text Mike Shue right now. We've been swapping text messages back and forth. Let me see. In the war room, everyone says hi. We'll see what Shue says. He's probably still watching the Ohio State Marching Band and their tribute to Rush over and over again. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I can't wait to watch the rest of it, like I said, but I watched the first episode to kind of see what everybody was talking about. And I was like, well, if it kind of sucks, I won't watch the rest of it. And I kind of got into it. So I want to finish it and watch the rest of it. The phone number, it's not a bit. It's really Mike Shue. I don't want to turn my screen though. We've been just texting about like podcast stuff. Nothing exciting, but it's what we do. Watch 2 episodes and I think I need therapy, says Randy. Okay. Tell him we said good night since it's close to his bedtime, says Brianna. Michelle says watch it. Had my hand over my eyes a couple times. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. You may not want to watch it before you go to bed if that kind of stuff bothers you. Curious about it too. Tracy, it's interesting. So I got into that. What else did I want to tell you guys about? The trailer for the new Scream movie came out today, and people like Courtney Cox and David Arquette and Nev Campbell are all in the new one, and the trailer came out today, so you should check that out. Let's see. What else did I want to talk to you guys about? Let's get him on the phone. Look, he's trying to go to bed. It's late for Mike Shue. He's got to be up early. Let's see. What's up, Ed? Thanks for hanging out with us. All right, so that's kind of what's been going on and kind of why I've been having such a crazy day. Up early, dealing with some stuff. My lawnmower died, so I was jump starting my lawnmower this afternoon. It's like I said, it's been a crazy day. The weather this week is supposed to be beautiful. And before we get into the podcast stuff, can we talk about the motherfucking Red Sox? ALCS bound, baby. I apologize if you're joining us in the war room from somewhere where you are not a Red Sox fan. You are more than welcome to be in the war room. You're just wrong on your choice of baseball team. That's all. Cheers to the Sox. We still don't know who we're playing yet. If it's going to be Houston or the White Sox, it's going to be somebody. And we know that no matter who it is for ALCS, we are not going to have home field advantage, which means that we are going to get games 3, 4, and 5. So there you go. I'm not going to prank call Shue. I like Shue too much to keep him up on a night where we're not hanging out in the, like, on deployment in the war room. So no, I'm not going to prank Mike Shue. All right. So for some reason, my keyboard does not want to run the show tonight, and I don't know why. It's one of the many technical issues I've been dealing with all day. So let's recap last week's podcast episode, shall we? If you listened to the podcast last week, you know it was the one and only Jerry Cantrell who was featured on episode 70 of the Mistress Carrie podcast. What did you guys think of Jerry Cantrell? I love him. obviously. Always have, always will. Jerry has got a great sense of humor. Mike Shue. Tell everyone I said go Sox. So there you go. So Mike Shue says, hi, everyone. So tell me what you guys thought of Jerry Cantrell. Jerry was great, says Donna. It's Red Sox versus Houston. Oh, so it's settled. It is Houston. Mark says Jerry was awesome. We're playing Houston, says Ralph. Okay, see, it's been a day. I didn't know. I checked earlier. Didn't see it. So we're playing Houston. Okay, that's great. Which, no drama there at all. All right, let's get back to Jerry Cantrell. Speaking of sports, I love Jerry's comment about the people who select the music at Gillette Stadium. I thought that was really hilarious. I also just love kind of him just talking about like Nancy Whitney Ann Wilson from Heart. I loved the way that he was kind of singing their praises and talking about what legends they are, and just kind of hearing how Jerry kind of constructs songs. I really was expecting a different answer out of him when I asked him what makes something go on a solo record versus an Alice in Chains record. I didn't expect the answer that he gave, that it was based on time. I was expecting him to say something about like a different writing style or pulling from a different set of emotions or something like that. But I thought it was really interesting that his songs are kind of crimes of opportunity, that depending on where he writes them and who he writes them with determines whether or not it's something that's going to go on a solo record or something that's going to go on an Alice record. And so I thought that was kind of interesting. So let's see. Yep, Houston won 10-1. Oh, they didn't just win. That was an ass whooping, Keith. Jen wants to know how my Uncle Froggy is. He's good. I haven't talked to him in a while, actually, so I should probably reach out to him. But the last time we did talk, he was doing okay. Houston versus Boston in the ALCS. Loved him in Alice in Chains, says Rihanna. Yeah, Jerry's just awesome. He's... I was really excited to get him on the show and get him on the show with a bonus episode with Dean DeLeo, talking about another prolific kind of grunge era guitar player, and a surprise kind of bonus episode of the podcast. So, let's see. So, I want to remind you guys that Jerry Cantrell is coming to Boston. I believe he's going to be at Big Night Live in April, and the details are on the events page at the events calendar at mistresscarrie.com. So that is episode 70 of the Mistress Carrie podcast, and episode 71 is Nick Reese from Joyous Wolf. And this was part of what has been kind of my technical difficulties over the last day. So if you are not familiar with Joyous Wolf, and you are a lover of rock and roll, this is one of the reasons why I wanted to launch the podcast, because I wanted to be able to turn you on to new bands, and to have these new bands have a place where you could find out about them and hear from the bands themselves. Hey, knock it off. We're trying to do a show. I'm just going to drink today, guys. I'm just going to drink for the rest of the show. I'm just going to drink. So here was the technical difficulty. So I interviewed Nick Reese, who's the lead singer of Joyous Wolf, and I woke him up in the morning. He was on the road, traveling, and we were having reception issues. And I basically had to do the equivalent of walk, chew gum, stand on my head, tap my stomach, roll my eyes, and like do like 6 other things to get the audio to not sound like it got recorded inside a dented tuna can. Yeah, it's Brianna, it's 0 and Wednesday. Yeah, go get him Wednesday. Yeah. Who let the dogs out? Trina wants to know. I do need a bigger skull mug. It's not even a joke. Like, I just want to just wheel the keg in here with a straw at this point. So we had some audio recording difficulties, and it's not for any other reason other than, I've gotten so used to getting spoiled and having the bands be accessible because they haven't been on tour. Now that the bands are out on the road, I have to be able to interview them when it's convenient for them. And sometimes it's when they're driving. And so Wednesday, do I have to start the show again? So I'm going to get them driving from time to time. Episode 3 with Tommy Vex, formerly of Bad Wolves, he was driving. Sully's episode, he was driving. It happens from time to time. Get in here. Come over here. Come on, get up here. Get up here. Come here. Come here. She's just standing there staring at me. Stop barking. Do you want to come up here? Come here. There's stuff for you in the mail call. If you would stop barking so I could finish this part of the show, then we could open the box. Keep drinking. Thanks, Jeff. I appreciate that. You're having some dog audio problems now. Yeah, exactly. Walter, get the pipe. Just knock me out with it. I've been up since 4:30. Just knock me the fuck out with it tonight. So anyway, the episode is good now, but the audio issues took some overcoming. The thing I will tell you about Joyous Wolf and the thing that I'll tell you about Nick is that these guys are so young that one would think they wouldn't be inspired by the era of music that they were. And I look at a band like Joyous Wolf as being kind of the next wave of like great American rock bands, like Delta blues inspired band. And the music that Nick grew up listening to is very old school, and you can hear it in the band, and you can hear it or hear him talking about it. I mean, he's talking about Billie Holiday and talking about Ray Charles and talking about B.B. King and Little Richard and the very early stages of rock and roll, and talking about all of this inspiration and the bands that he loves. All the way up through, in this episode, we were talking about Dirty Honey and Broken Love and a lot of these other kind of bands that are on that new wave. Nick and I talked about, is rock and roll dead? I thought his answer was really interesting. And so I think, yeah, she'll come up for cookies, Donna. Exactly. Where's the giant travel mug? You need it right now. I do. The 100-ouncer from Brito. I do need the 100-ouncer right now. Heinz, I do need to start the show over. Walter, get the keg. Exactly, Ash. Hold on. Let me get another drink. But I'm really excited because I want to be able to change up the episodes, right? And I want you guys to be kept to hear from artists that you love, that you grew up listening to. But then I want you to hear from some bands that maybe you've never heard of, that you're willing to give a shot because you hear about them here in the War Room, or you listen to the podcast and you hear interviews with them and you're like, you know what? I think I want to check them out. So when you listen to the corresponding playlist for this week's episode, there's a lot of stuff in there. And there's a lot of old school, like the roots of rock and roll represented in this podcast playlist. And I'm just really excited to hear what you guys think about the music. Now, I will warn you that Nick, he warmed up. I woke him up. And it was early in the morning when we did the interview because it was the only time that I could get him. And so you could tell that he was having some coffee and when it finally kicked in. But I had a really good time talking to him. I've never met him before. I was really fascinated to kind of hear how he grew up, how he became so inspired by a lot of the older music that he listens to, And they're really old souls, Diva, old rock and roll souls. And I'm really curious to hear from you guys after you hear the episode and after you check out some of their music. I'm really curious to hear what you guys think about them, because they are kind of like a modern classic rock band. It's weird to say it that way, but there are so many of these amazing kind of recognizable flavors, but they're put into the recipe in a different way. And he's got a really cool, distinctive voice. And it's bands like this that convince me that the things that I love about rock and roll, guitar-driven rock and roll, blues-based rock and roll, with really gifted singers, that the things that I love so much are going to stick around, because there are bands that are willing to pick up the torch and move forward. And when you hear from bands like All Good Things and Dead Poets Society, when I talk to bands like that on the podcast, you know, singers like Diamante, this whole new generation of bands, it makes me so excited to hear what's next, because I've been there long enough to see when Linkin Park was a new band, when Slipknot was a new band, when Korn was a new band, when Limp Bizkit was a new band. And so now to see these new eras of rock and roll and this new generation of bands, I'm really excited about it. And so I want to know what you guys think. So even if you've never heard them before, I want you guys to check out episode 71. It features Nick Reese from Joyous Wolf, and I think you guys are going to love them. They have a new song out called Fearless, and their new album is going to be out in early 2022. So check it out. If you subscribe to the Mistress Carrie podcast, not only are you going to get the weekly episodes, but you will also get the Situation Report, which you get every Monday through Friday, and it's got all of your rock news, music headlines, entertainment updates, but it's boiled down to 5 minutes to make it really easy for you guys to keep informed and to know what's going on without asking for a huge commitment about, a lot of time, the way that the full-length episodes can be. Sometimes they're really long, sometimes they're not. I also want to remind you guys all the places you can check out the podcast. This is just a small sampling. So wherever it is that you listen to podcasts, you can find the Mistress Carrie podcast. Just search Mistress Carrie podcast and you'll find that artwork, and then you know you're in the right place. We are holding steady at 117 countries represented with the Mistress Carrie podcast. Our neighbors to the north are far ahead, so it's going to take a lot to have another country overtake Canada at this point, but that doesn't mean that you shouldn't try. So thank you to all 117 countries that are checking out the Mistress Carrie podcast. I appreciate it. Here on Cocktails in the War Room, we also go through a lot of music headlines and music news. Last week, we talked about David Lee Roth announcing his retirement and the residency in Vegas and how it was going to be the last string of shows that he does. Today, he released a poster for those shows and is now hinting that maybe they're not going to be his last shows. So you guys check out the poster and you guys tell me if you think he's retiring or not. Wanted to remind you guys that Corey Taylor and Clown from Slipknot Sons are in a band together called Vended. They're playing at Sonia at the Middle East on November 21st. That got announced last week, and I wanted to put a plug in for those guys. Speaking of the next generation of music, you can also order the Metallica Black Album Funko Pops. You can only get them through Walmart and Walmart.com. You can order them now, but they're not going to ship until December. So I wanted to put the plug in for that. There are some great new albums coming out this week. Tom Morello's new album, The Atlas Underground Fire, comes out on Friday. It features cameo appearances from Chris Stapleton, Bruce Springsteen, and Eddie Vedder. So that comes out on Friday. Ice Nine Kills has their new album coming out on Friday, Welcome to Horrorwood Volume 2. And also Seether is celebrating their 20th anniversary. And one of the things that they're doing is they're releasing a compilation album called Bicentennial, which comes out on Friday. And it's got 20 songs on it commemorating the 20 years that Seether has been a band. 16 of those songs have made it to number one. All 20 are top 10 rock songs. And Seether is also doing a a live stream coming up in November. And I have the link and all of the details on the events calendar at mistresscarrie.com. Want to remind you guys, coming up on Thursday, Ministry is at the House of Blues. Tickets go on sale on Friday for the entire Red Hot Chili Peppers tour. Now, the tour for the Chili's starts in June, and the U.S. dates start on July 23rd. Now, they're going to be at Fenway Park on September 10th. The entire tour goes on sale on Friday, unless you sign up for their newsletter, and then you can get a code that is specific to you that would allow you to get involved with the fan pre-sale, which I believe starts tomorrow. So if you're a diehard Red Hot Chili Peppers fan and you want to make sure you're going to get tickets to the Fenway show, people have asked me, do you think they're going to add a second date? I don't know off the top of my head. I haven't heard anything. Them putting the entire tour on sale on the same day. If they've held multiple dates at the venues, it's possible. I know bands love to play multiple dates at a venue because it gives the crew a day off because they don't, or an easier day because they don't have to set up the next day. Everything's all set. They just have to do sound check and do the show again. I don't know if the Chili's are going to schedule a second date or not. I would assume that it's going to be based on how the first shows sell, but everything goes on sale on Friday. So I wanted to remind you guys about that. Speaking of shows, by the way, I wanted to remind you guys that any shows you go to moving forward, especially if they are Live Nation shows or if they are in downtown Boston, you need to go online and check the COVID protocols, because all of the venues are now adopting their COVID protocols now, which is either a negative test, proof of vaccination, whatever it is. I just don't want you guys to end up at a show and not be able to get in because you didn't bring something with you that you needed, or you didn't get tested if you're not vaccinated. Whatever it is, just double check the venue. All of the venues, they have all of the stuff up there. It's pretty easy to find. So just make sure that you know what's going on. Let's see. Don't forget, Bad Wolves has their new album coming out on October 29th. The new song House of Cards is out, and they're not the only ones that have the new record out. Of course, Jerry Cantrell's new album is coming out. There's a lot of great music coming out in October. I'm really excited about all of the new stuff. I brought up Slipknot earlier. If you were not able to go to the Xfinity Center show on Friday night, which, by the way, the reviews of the show were fantastic. The tribute to Paul Gray and Joey Jordison at the end, everybody loved. But somebody recorded the entire show. They bootlegged the show and didn't just record the audio. They video recorded the entire show. And so if you search for it on YouTube, if you look up Slipknot at the Xfinity Center in Mansfield, you're going to be able to find literally the entire set. Nikki Sixx has his new book coming out next week. It comes out on the 19th. Speaking of Corey Taylor, he also has a virtual book signing. I'm talking about Nikki Sixx. And it's hosted by Corey Taylor. So that's coming up next week. Also, 6 a.m. has a new album called Hits coming out that is being released in conjunction with Nikki Sixx's book. Judas Priest has still not announced the postponed dates for their tour, but we need to talk about Richie Faulkner because so much has come out about what happened to Richie Faulkner on stage at the Louder Than Life Festival, and it's unbelievable. So last week we talked about how Richie Faulkner had what they called an aortic aneurysm and a full aortic dissection on stage while he was doing the guitar solo for Painkiller. Richie Faulkner has now been discharged from the hospital. He underwent 10 and a half hours of emergency heart surgery. He's got 5 parts of his heart that are now metal. He's 41 years old, which is just unbelievable to me that at 41 years old. He has also been offering up some insight into what happened. He said he's never fainted before, but that while he was playing Painkiller, he said he was about halfway through the song and he started to feel faint. And he was like, well, I got to finish the song. He had no idea. He doesn't have a history of heart issues at all, had no idea what was going on, but just wanted to finish the song. He's on stage at the Louder Than Life Festival and started to feel weak, started to feel faint. what was happening, in case you don't know what an aortic aneurysm and a full aortic dissection is that basically the valve of his heart, like his aorta, like it sprung a leak. So as his heart is pumping, he's bleeding to death in his own chest cavity. It's insane to think about. Now, Richie Faulkner has said, obviously, if he had known something that bad was going to happen to him, that he would have gotten off the stage faster. It just so happens that he was 4 miles away from a cardiac center. His cardiothoracic surgeon said that that's one of the things that saved his life. They say miles equals minutes. And being that close to the hospital where he had fantastic emergency care, they were able to diagnose what was going on and get him into surgery really quickly is what led to him surviving, because most people don't survive what happened to him. Like I said, he's resting at home. Rob Halford came out and said that he is still freaked out about what happened to Richie Faulkner. And of course, Judas Priest was supposed to be playing on Halloween night at the Tsongas Arena in Lowell, Massachusetts, and at Mohegan Sun the night before. They have said they're not going to cancel the dates, but that they are going to reschedule them, but they can't reschedule them until they know when Richie Faulkner is going to be allowed to tour. So if you had tickets for any of the Judas Priest shows that got postponed, you want to save them because they are going to reschedule. Also want to remind you that Brian Johnson's book, his autobiography, The Lives of Brian, is also coming out at the end of the month. And I cannot wait to read this book. It's basically Brian Johnson's life all the way up to the release of the Black Album. So his upbringing, getting into AC/DC, kind of all of that stuff is all going to be in this book. And I'm super psyched to read it. I'll want to remind you guys as well that tickets are already on sale for the Volbeat Ghost Tour. They're going to be at the DCU Center in Worcester on February 11th, but they released a ton of tour dates. Tickets to see Tool at the TD Garden on February 19th are also on sale, as is the entire Tool tour. And also Trans-Siberian Orchestra is going out for the 25th anniversary of Christmas Eve and Other Stories. And that tour is also on sale with a date at the DCU Center of November 27th. So just some reminders about some of the shows that are out on sale. Hold on, I'm trying to catch up with your messages now. Super strict for any parties. MC might know. Will, what might I know? I wasn't keeping up on your messages. Did I say the Black Album? I didn't mean the Black Album, Jacob. Jacob, you know what I meant. The release of Back in Black. So it's Brian Johnson's life when he was a kid growing up in England, his musical career pre-AC/DC, all the way up to getting into AC/DC, and then the writing, recording, and release of Back in Black. Thank you for the correction, Jacob. You know what I meant. Let's see. Tool is painfully expensive. I saw that. It is expensive. They don't tour very often. I have never seen a bad Tool show, but it is expensive. I agree with you. You're talking about the Salem restrictions. So when I was there, as long as you were outside, you were kind of just doing what you did. Going into, when I went out to eat in one of the restaurants in Salem, and masks were required to walk around inside the restaurant until you sat down at your table and you were eating and drinking, and then you could take your mask off. I don't know what the occupancy restrictions were, but I can tell you that every place I passed, like all the stores, they were limiting the amount of people that could go in at a time. But it was not keeping people from having a good time. People were dressed up. People were running around. There were all kinds of spooky things happening. Vendors, street performers, people taking pictures. It was still great. Trina says, PSA, box wine is yucky. Trina, there's some good box wine. I'm not going to lie. Give me an F-bomb, Keith says. Salem is indoor mask rules only. Yeah, that's what I figured it was. It wasn't that big of a deal. And because the temperatures have been so mild, it's so nice to just go and walk around. And like literally everyone had witch hats on. It was just fun. It was just really cool. It was a blast. Jen says, thanks, guys. It's our anniversary and I want to go to Salem. I will also tell you, because I was entertaining people from out of state, You cannot make dinner reservations ahead of time. What you can do is go to the restaurant once you get to Salem and put your name in for a table, but I would expect a wait. I can also tell you that when you put your name in, what a lot of people do is put their name in at multiple places and then they kind of wait to see where they get a table first. And so we were told it was a little over an hour wait for a table. And so we were like, fine, we'll put our name in there and go walk around a little bit. And then they text you when your table is ready. And as long as you're not too far away, it was no big deal. We only ended up waiting about 30 minutes for a table, and we were just out kind of wandering around, sightseeing and stuff. So the lines for the restaurants were moving fast, but you cannot call ahead and make reservations in October in Salem because they just don't take them. Ryan, I agree. I miss bleachers as well. So that is a lot of what's going on in music. I want to remind you guys about some of the events that are coming up. Mike Shue and I next Friday, October 22nd, are going to be at Mickey's Haunted Car Wash. And if you don't know what that is, Route 146 in Sutton is Mickey's Car Wash. However, this coming Friday, Mickey's Car Wash turns into Mickey's Haunted Car Wash. And the car wash takes about 45 minutes. You pay by the car, so you throw the kids in the car, whatever, and you go through all of these attractions. And so there's people in costumes, sets. There's stops along the way where there's treats, there's hot chocolate, there's candy, all of that kind of stuff. They will ask you when you get there in the car if you want the scary or the not so scary, so that if you got little kids and you don't want people like really scaring the hell out of the kids, you can go for the more benign ride through. But it's about a 45-minute car trip. And then at the end, you go through the haunted car wash and you leave with a washed car, which is pretty cool. So Mike Shue and I are going to be there next Friday night, October 22nd. You can get the details and the link. It's Pike Night at Mickey's Haunted Car Wash. Go to the events calendar at mistresscarrie.com and all the details are there. And then I also want to remind you guys about the New England Indie Band Showcase, which is happening at the Vault in New Bedford. I'm going to be down there on November 6th. There are 4 bands playing. I'm really excited to go. One of the things that has been really hard has been local bands. I mean, obviously anyone that works in kind of the entertainment industry and the service industry because of COVID has been difficult. It's been hard on the national bands, but it's also been really hard on the unsigned bands and the local bands because it's harder for them to get noticed and it's harder for them to get out in front of people normally, never mind during a pandemic. And so this is a chance to go and see some of the biggest indie bands around. And I was super psyched that John Pemberton and everybody down at the Vault asked me to come down and be the guest MC for the night. And so that is happening on November 6th. It's free to get in. And if you want to reserve a table, you can do that for $10. But otherwise, you can get into the show for free. So get a bunch of friends. If you live down on the southern part of the state, down on the South Shore and below, I get a lot of crap, like when we were up at the boat because it was up in Drake on the north side of the state. And people were like, it's too far to drive. So now we're coming down to New Bedford. So if you live in that part of the state, there's no excuse for you not to come and hang out with me. Get all of the details on the events calendar, but I definitely want to see you because it's going to be a blast. And it's free, which is awesome. All right, time for the mail call. There's a couple things here, including this giant box over here. But I'm going to open this one first. So it says, Mistress Carrie, Boston's badass. I hope you like your gift. So glad I met you. Hope your husband is doing good. And give Miss Cutie Pie Wednesday some extra love from Michelle. My husband, so I'll give you guys an update. My husband's traveling again. He's doing very well. He is healthy. He is safe. He's good. And we're just counting down the days, but he's good. The anniversary of our first date is coming up next month. And, we both just had our birthdays and we weren't able to be together. And our first date anniversary is coming up. And so going through a second set of major holidays, obviously last year, the holidays were kind of weird because, nobody really got together because of COVID, but now we're starting to have our second something and still not be together. And so that's been kind of sucky, but, he's healthy and he's doing good. So I'm not complaining. It's all good. So this is what came in the mail. Michelle, I'm just going to tell you that Wednesday's going to get her hands on this thing. And she's going to drag it around the house. And she's probably going to sleep with it because it's soft. And it has all of these things. And she's going to get her little pug mouth on this. And she's going to run around the house. And then at one point or another, she's probably going to whip it really fast. So, little Miss Wednesday. It's a very spoiled dog. All right. So, I got this giant box. And it's from Ralph. And first of all, bubble wrap. Who doesn't love bubble wrap? So, Ralph had reached out to me and said, if I send you these, would you want them? And I was like, yeah, Ralph, why wouldn't I want them? Are you kidding me? So Ralph I thought this was a turd, right? Because why would I not? Until I saw it, and then I saw that it had mustard on it, and it's a hot dog. It's a big softy dog toy. I'm trying to find, it's got to have a squeaker in here somewhere. Oh, there it is right there. It is a giant hot dog. It's a giant wiener. And it's hilarious because it's like 4 times the size of my dog. Wednesday. Sorry if your dog is going crazy right now. But Ralph, this is fucking hilarious. Seriously. Ralph used this to help as packing material because the stuff that's in this box is breakable. You guys are going to die when you see what he sent me. I haven't even unpacked them all because I waited. I mean, I opened the box, let's be real, but I waited. He also sent begging strips because my dog is a beggar. You know she is. You've seen her do it. Okay. So what Ralph sent is this giant box, and he asked, I have a bunch of vintage rock posters, and I want to know if you want them. And I was like, yes, I absolutely 100% want them. Because I'm always looking for ways to like decorate MCHQ. And so he sent me a lot of like vintage rock posters. Like this is from Donington in 1995. Metallica, Skid Row, Slash's Snake Pit, Slayer, White Zombie, Warrior Soul, Corrosion of Conformity, Machine Head, who, by the way, is celebrating their 30th anniversary today, and Metallica and a bunch of other bands wishing Machine Head a happy 30th anniversary. So it's a bunch of like this really cool framed artwork. So I want to open some more of these so you guys can check these out because it's really, really cool. And you guys know how much I love this kind of stuff. So this one is from Donington in 96. Kiss, Ozzy, Sepultura, Dog Eat Dog, Biohazard, Paradise Lost, Fear Factory. Check this out. So cool. These are some of the small ones, and there's some big ones in there too that I'm going to show you, but I was so afraid to take the bubble wrap off ahead of time because now, Ralph, you know this is the weight of my heart. Just think about this for a second. Donington Park, Saturday, August 22nd. Look at this. The Monsters of Rock Tour. Bon Jovi, Dio, Metallica, Anthrax, Wasp, and Cinderella. But Bon Jovi was the headliner. Metallica opened for Bon Jovi. Evidence. It's right there. All right. This I have not seen yet. I waited. It goes against every instinct in my soul, but I waited. Iron Maiden, Kiss, David Lee Roth, Megadeth, Guns N' Roses, Halloween. Donington. This stuff is so cool. Like, I cannot wait to start hanging this stuff up. Seriously. Hold on. Oh, this is a good one. Oh, hi, Wednesday. Do you want to come look at your hot dog? This one is Motorhead Ozzy Triumph. Look at how old school these posters are. This is so cool. Wednesday, come here. Wednesday, do you want your hot dog? Come here. Wednesday. Where'd she go? Come here, Wednesday. Hold on, there's a couple more. Wednesday, look at this hot dog. Oh, here she comes. Hold on, I got to turn the pug cam off. Hold on, we're pausing. Do you want to see the hot dog? Hey. Get away from the snacks. As you can see, she totally hates it, Ralph. Bon Jovi doesn't belong in that group, says Mark. Merry Christmas early, wicked cool, says Heinz. I know. Seriously, Wednesday. How is she going to get this thing around the house? It's literally 3 times her size. Ralph, they're unbelievable. Wednesday, bring your hot dog over here. Bring it over here. Ow. Oh, she got me. You want to say hi? Hi. I'm a hot dog. Can I boop your face? Boop, 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 boop. Yeah, this is going to be all night. I have a feeling I'm going to be listening to a squeaking hot dog for the rest of the night. I'll thank you, Ralph, at 2 a.m. when I hear the hot dog. Oh, check this one out. Iron Maiden, Kiss, Def Leppard. Iron Maiden, Kiss, David Lee Roth, Megadeth, Guns N' Roses, Halloween. Notice the size of the band. Look at how far down Guns N' Roses is. Like, these old posters really do kind of show you, like, how much things change when it comes to, like, back in the early days of Guns N' Roses, like, you never would have known that they would have become. However, it is kind of funny that we're still talking about, literally all these bands are still out on the road. They're still touring all these years later. All right, let's see what this one is. Oh, this is a good one too. The people at the post office said thanks, Ralph, by the way. They were like, you got a big box over here. This one, Iron Maiden, Skid Row, Slayer, Thunder, Wasp. These Donington posters are just freaking cool, man. When I talk to the bands about these European festivals too, like, they always just talk about how crazy they are. And when you go and watch some of their sets on YouTube, like, it's unbelievable to just see how many people. Oh, this is a good one. Look at this one. Hold on. Aerosmith, Extreme, Sepultura, Pantera. Crazy. So cool. 1994. Wow. That's unbelievable. All right, there's something else down here on the bottom of the... Oh, I found the letter. Hold on. Dear Mistress Carrie, I hope you enjoy the concert posters. The two larger ones are framed in glass. Those are originals from 1980 and 1988. The others are colored reprints. There are several more in the tubes that I thought you might like. The book of different rock and metal cover art, plus a toy and treats for the Goth Pug Wednesday. Sent with love. So Ralph, you rule. Thank you. So there's this other thing in here that I wanted to show you guys. I saw it through the packaging, but I did not open it because I wanted to look at it together. But it's a book about album artwork. And I thought that it would be cool to kind of thumb through on the show because there's a ton of stuff. Heavy Metal Thunder, kick-ass cover art from kick-ass albums. And so, just thumbing through here. So, like, here's the Motorhead section. And let me see if I can find... New York Dolls. Twisted Sister. This is hilarious. Oh my God. Berserk. Do you guys remember these guys? Hold on. Look at those guys. Corrosion of Conformity. It's a huge book. There's tons of pages in here that go through a bunch of album covers and stuff. And this is very cool. So I'm going to add that to my book collection. And then, like he said, there's a couple tubes in here that have a bunch of stuff rolled up that I don't want to dig out because I'm afraid that Wednesday's going to come jump on the couch and I don't want her to ruin stuff. So I thought that was really cool because, like, I can't believe these are originals. These are awesome. And I don't know about you guys, but we were talking about shows at Fenway Park. When you go to those shows, like Foo Fighters, Pearl Jam, Guns N' Roses, a lot of the bands are getting into doing collectible posters. Like I have the Metallica poster from Gillette Stadium back in 2017, and it was like the skeletons with the Minuteman helmet, the hats on and stuff. I love like that kind of stuff where bands are doing custom posters based on the location. And there's a different one for every show on the tour. They usually sell out really quickly. So the best thing for you to do is to go and get that stuff at the very beginning because the posters never last because they only print so many of them. So, oh, sorry, I kept the pug cam on. I didn't mean to do that. All right, let me move these out of the way in case she comes back to attack her hot dog. So, Ralph, this was amazing and way too generous. When you said you had some posters, this was not what I was expecting. But I can't wait to like start hanging stuff up, which is really cool. It's just, I know I have to find some wall space. I think we're going to be doing a little redecorating around here. All right. So I wanted to also toast the birthdays today. So who's got a birthday today? Because I know the show's running late. It's been that kind of a fucking day all day today. So whose birthday? We always cheers birthdays here in the War Room. If today is your birthday, you share it with a very eclectic group of people. Jeff Keith from Tesla, Luciano Pavarotti, and Pat Denizio from the Smithereens. So those are the people that you share your birthday with. So cheers to you. And happy unbirthday, Keith. We can't forget about you and your unbirthday. I have a collection of tour books. You know what? I have some Bon Jovi tour books back in the day that I bought when I was like in high school because I bought everything Bon Jovi back in the day. And I think I saved those. And I think I still have the book from like Woodstock and stuff. But I didn't always buy tour books. But if you've got them, like you got to put some pictures up of those online. Can we toast to the 176th of the Navy yesterday? Yeah, of course, Mark. Hell yeah. We can just keep toasting the rest of the night if you want. I would be totally fine with that. I have the Bon Jovi ones too, says Jen. Yeah, see, we were helpless to his charms. There's a whole bunch of bubble wrap over here. And I'm fighting the urge to just, I can't help it. Do you guys know how hard it is when I'm packing up stuff that you guys get at mistresscarrie.com, like in the store? When I'm like making sure that like your pint glasses and your coffee mugs and like whatever glass stuff you're getting, I have to wrap it in bubble wrap. And all I want to do is pop the bubble wrap, which would totally defeat the purpose of having the bubble wrap because it's to make sure your stuff gets to you, not broken. But when you have rolls of bubble wrap laying around, all I want to do is pop them. All right, what else did I want to talk to you guys about before we get out of here? Wanted to say hi to everybody with a Backstage Pass, obviously. If you don't know what a Backstage Pass is, you can get them on Patreon. It gives you access to inside information. You can submit questions for the podcast. You get extra pictures, early access to event tickets, and also exclusive concert ticket giveaways. So the Backstage Pass holders get access to some pretty awesome concert tickets. So if you want to check it out, you can go to patreon.com/mistresscarrie, or you can just click the Patreon link at mistresscarrie.com. And I want to remind you guys about where all the places are that you can find me on social. I have 3 drawers filled with my concert shirts from 97 and 2004. Look, we have talked about this extensively here in the War Room. Having a collection of concert shirts, that is not a waste of space. You save those things. They are retro and people pay big money for that stuff. Every once in a while, people donate that stuff. And then people that go into like the thrift stores and find them, and then they end up reselling them on eBay and stuff for a lot of money. Original concert shirts. Because if you go to Target, they make reproduction ones. But if you have original tour shirts with the dates on the back and stuff, that stuff is worth a lot of money. So don't get rid of them. Please share the other posters next week. I totally will, Ralph. Yeah, now that like these are unwrapped and stuff, I'll open up the rest of them next week. Absolutely. Let's see. They still have the fresh paint smell. Keith, you know, there's certain things that people just are never going to like. You remember in Fast Times at Ridgemont High when they're all smelling the mimeograph page? And like fresh concert shirts, like fresh off the printer, like t-shirt. Brian probably doesn't smell them anymore because he's busy printing t-shirts all the time. But that fresh t-shirt smell, which is probably going to give us cancer. It smells so good. I still have my Rush shirt from 1982, my first concert. See, Mike, that's what I'm talking about. Like, you got to save that stuff. And every once in a while, you got to bust them out and you got to wear them. There are some really cool things I've seen online where like people make blankets out of them. They cut the logos all out and they get quilted into like a blanket or something you can hang up on the wall. And I think that's really cool too. But I like to be able to wear them still. So some of them have holes in them and stains. And I just don't care. I wore them so much that they got destroyed. But I love them anyway. First show was the Grateful Dead 94 fall tour, says Keith. Nice. Did you have a grilled cheese sandwich and a balloon for lunch? I have a Striper tour shirt from 1986. Yeah, see, all that stuff is just so cool. You guys have seen me wear so many of my old retro shirts. First concert shirt, Bon Jovi's, paper ass thin. I wore it in high school every day. Jen, I totally get you. I see you, Jen. I see you. I think I lost most of mine, says Donna. That makes me sad. My Monkees reunion shirt fit me 60 pounds ago. That is the thing. Like, if you didn't buy your shirts big enough, you could outgrow them. But still having them, I don't know. I don't like to get rid of stuff like that. So I need a cameo from you. Congratulations for my son on the baby who will be here any minute. How do I do that? Okay, so Linda, so for anybody that doesn't know what Cameo is, you download the Cameo app and you basically you sign up and get an account. And then you can search for people and like Big Papi and Alice Cooper, like Gilbert Gottfried. Like there's all kinds of athletes and actors and comedians and whatever. They all have Cameo pages and you order it straight through the app. So that's how you do it. I have a Slayer shirt from the 90s, says Mark. Poison and Warren at the Old Garden. Brett, that's nice. Old Metallica from 87, Annette, that's fantastic. Keith says, I was 15. Brother will let me have the foods. Still love the way the old garden's set up with the trains above the ground. Yeah, but you know what? The city is so much nicer. Like walking around the city with like the people that stayed at the house because of the marathon and stuff. The city's so much more walkable now because the elevated highway's gone and it looks so much better. But yeah, I mean, there's a little part of me that misses the dirt and dinge of the old garden too. The good old days, I wouldn't change my life, but I miss those days. I hear you, Jen. I was at that show, says Ryan. I would do, will you do anything on a Cameo asking for a friend? Arthur, no. There are certain things that are off limits to the Cameo videos. Thank you for asking, though. Smart ass. Linda says, thank you, Donna. So yeah, but the Cameo videos are fun. I like making them. They're fun. Sometimes you want to get something for somebody that's custom for them and you kind of don't know what to get them or whatever. There are a lot of people. I mean, like Dave Mustaine's cameos go for like a few $100s a piece. Mine aren't even near that. But it is pretty cool that you can get people to make custom videos for you. And then you get the download files. So you can give it to the person and they can put it up on Facebook and Instagram, wherever they want to put it. So that's what makes the videos cool, is that they can post them anywhere they want. Annette, I have most of my concert tickets too in a giant shoebox. Let's see. I save all my concert tickets. Penny says as well. Yeah, they're just cool to have. And what's weird now is that if you've been to a show recently, like the tickets are digital now and you scan your phone to get into shows. So it's like, we're going to have to start like printing out our tickets somehow so that we can save them, because otherwise they're just going to be like screen grabs on your phone, which is kind of weird. She said Cameo, not OnlyFans, Brianna says. Yeah, exactly. I'm not making foot videos for you guys, okay? That's especially not with my feet. All right, guys. So I got to run. I kept you guys way too late tonight. I'm sorry that I made you wait. I'm sorry the show was late. It's been a crazy day. I'm so happy that I got to see my friends from out of town. Driving to the airport that early in the morning, Boston traffic. I remember you well. You didn't disappoint this morning. But congratulations to all of the runners. And thank you to everyone that showed up to cheer them all on. The marathon has been something that has made me sad that it hasn't been happening. And so now that it happened this week and that it's coming back regularly on Patriots Day this coming April, it just makes me happy, and it feels like little things are starting to go back to normal, which is really good. Wednesday, are you going to come up? Come here. Do you want to come say hi to everybody? Do you want to come say goodnight? Come here. Hey. Wednesday. What are you looking at? What's under the table? Wednesday. Hey, don't make me hit you with the hot dog. There she comes. Come say goodnight. Come say goodnight to everyone. Come here. Do you want a treat? Yeah, that'll get you up here. Hey. Do you want a treat? Just one, okay? Can you say hi to everyone up here? Up here. Wednesday. There you go. We're going to end the show on a high note. Wednesday got her treat. Ralph, thank you for the treats, by the way. Is that good? You and your giant hot dog. Ralph says, enjoy the poster. Shannon says, good night, Carrie and Wednesday and Zero and the War Room family. Bonk with the hot dog. Hold on. Bonk. She's getting bacon-scented cookies all over my couch. Is it good? Do you like that? Do you guys see the mess she's making? Do you see that? John says, good night, everybody. Let's see. Get some sleep, Carrie. Dude, you have no idea. I will see you guys next week. Don't forget that episode 71 of the Mistress Carrie podcast goes live at midnight, featuring Nick Reese from Joyous Wolf. I'm really curious to hear what you guys have to say about the band and about everything next week. And I will see you guys next Tuesday night at 8:30 for episode 154 of Cocktails in the War Room. I need a nap.